Hi, everybody. Welcome to Soapbox. My name is Mauro DePasquale. Soapbox is a WCCA TV production. We're community public access nonprofit television in the city of Worcester, and we depend on contributions by viewers like you. And we want to especially thank sponsors for today's show: Stephen P. Welch Opticians, Sal Acuri of Acuri Motor, and Worcester Family Eye Care, the city of Worcester, and all the members of our Circle of Friends memberships for sponsoring and helping keep programming like this on WCCA TV. There are hundreds of shows that we play, and we thank you for your support. If you haven't made support yet and you're interested in helping us out, if you like programs like Soapbox here, you can simply make a donation by text. Text WCCA TV to the number 243725. That's WCCA TV in the message portion, and then text it to the number 243725. And you can make a tax-deductible gift to the station, and we would thank you for that very much. We have our workshop and television productions classes starting up in February, so if you want to get in, I think this is the last week, depending on when you see this program. The first week of January is the last week to sign up, so make sure you do so. Call the station, or if you want to be a guest on any of our shows, try calling the station at 508-755-1880, extension 10. And you can talk with Tracy, and she'll be happy to help you with that. Today's show, I think, is going to be pretty interesting. I'm happy to introduce to you an author and Army veteran, Charlie Smith. He's the author of a lifelong experience series, and you're going to find this kind of fascinating. He has operational books that talk about coping skills and self-help and self-awareness, bullying even, he's touched on. So there's a lot of topics to talk about, and I'm here with Charlie. Hi, Charlie.
Hello, Mauro.
Thanks for being here and for sharing your story. So tell us, what's this? It's a new situational awareness and anti-bullying program that you've been involved with?
Yes. I go to school at Quincy, and I was just in a class on creating programs. And I asked the professor if I could create a program that I want to run. So that's the one that I created, and I got an A on. And I'm hoping that I'm gonna excel out there in the really real world, running this program. What situational awareness and anti-bullying is going to be is show children ages 6 to 10 what situational awareness is, knowing the surroundings, your surroundings, and what bullying is. So they understand what bullying is, and they understand how to react if you're getting bullied. One way to react is not to act scared. Be confident, look the person in the eye, and then, of course, tell somebody later on what happened. But if you back down, if you look scared, then that's going to feed the bully's rage.
You're going to act a little more.
Yes,
right?
yeah. And if you're around friends, then you're less likely to be picked on.
Right.
If you have
the security in numbers kind of thing, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Now, is there a relationship with situational awareness and stuff like bullying?
I think there is, because you need to be aware of your surroundings, and anti-bullying, you need to be looking out for is somebody being bullied. And you need to look out for what, if somebody's going to be bullying you, like if you're looking at me like with a stern face, then I know that I did something that you don't like, and something's going to happen of it.
One thing to be aware of, right? Catching the sort of discerning the moment, right? What's in the moment.
I'll give you a good example. I was walking down Main Street when I was in high school. Had my headphones on, looking down, smoking a cigarette. All of a sudden, I get hit in the face. And when I came to, because I went back, I hit my head on a car, and when I came to, the person asked me for a cigarette. That's it. If I was didn't have my headphones on so loud, was looking around me to see what's going on around me, I would have seen this person coming at me.
Yeah. Wow.
You know?
Yeah, it's a horrible story.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, you have to be aware at all times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in today's world,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I want to take you a little bit back about, you talked a little bit about your own experience. Maybe that has something to do with what you're doing today.
Oh, definitely.
You have a number of works. A lot of your work right now seems to be focused on self-awareness, self-help, recovery, trauma,
Yeah. Yeah.
coping skills. And you have a book here. It's called Addiction Recovery and Coping Skills Workbook.
Yes.
I'm holding it up here on the camera. And we'll talk a little about this. But on it, it says Operation Battle of a Lifetime.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about that. What it's the term operation.
Well,
seems a little-
operation.
Yeah.
If you're in the military, anything you do is considered an operation, like Operation Desert Storm, Operation
Okay.
Iraqi Freedom.
Right.
This is a thing that I want to do to get the awareness out to people,
Okay.
to help them learn coping skills, because I was a case manager at Spectrum Detox in Westboro.
Yeah.
And one of the first questions I had to ask them when I interviewed them, when they came in, was, what coping skills do you have? A lot of them would be like, what's a coping skill?
What is it? Yeah.
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 So I figured, I thought long and hard, because my cousin died 3 years ago of drug overdose, heroin. And thought long and hard about what my next book was going to be. And I felt compelled to write this because I've been in recovery since 1993. And my cousin and I've lost people along the way. And
Yeah.
so I felt really compelled to get that out there, teach people how to develop their own coping skills. And this book also has my story, my recovery story, plus 8 others' recovery stories that I know that are in recovery for over a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
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 So you personally experienced the need to develop coping skills.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did this happen after you were in the military?
I was.
So did the addictions and all that happen after military?
No, way before.
Before it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was orphaned when I don't want to get too much into my memoir because I want it to be a surprise for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I was orphaned when I was 11 years old. And after that, I didn't speak for 6 months.
Yeah.
I was a mute for 6 months. And up until the time that I went into the military at 9 years later, when I was 20, I flunked my way through high school. I got into all sorts of trouble. And I got into drugs because my cousin was in drugs and I idolized him.
Yeah.
I wanted to do exactly what he was doing. And it came to be that once I went in the military, that was my biggest coping skill. Because I had exercise and I had focus on something other than what I was focusing on.
Everything was regimented and
exactly.
Yeah, so it was good.
Yeah.
So I see this is addiction recovery coping skills, and it is really I'm glad you brought it in because I haven't had a chance to look at it.
Yeah.
But looking at it right now, you talk about stuff like incarceration syndrome.
Yeah.
This must deal with people who have been incarcerated,
Yes.
whether in the military or not, I guess, right? If you were a prisoner or something.
Yeah, it's
And
like
then PTSD.
Yes, I was just going to say that. Yep.
Yeah.
I've had PTSD since I was 6 years old. My mother died when I was 6. And I went undiagnosed from 6 years old to 30 years old. I was a homeless vet when I was in my 30s. And the VA helped me. And I got to understand what was going on with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In your book here, you give really good, you have facts about trauma, for
Yep.
example.
yeah.
And then you have symptoms. I'm looking at just happen to open up the PTSD, post-stress
Yeah.
syndrome. And then you have places for people to write notes. So where is it? Right here, right? No.
It's right over
Right
here.
here. Yeah, right here. I'm looking opposite in the screen.
Yep.
And you have questionnaires in here.
Yeah.
So, what are some of the vacation spots I see here? So,
Yeah.
Where did you take your first sober vacation? I'm skipping ahead. So there's other workshops here. So it's really helping you explore yourself,
Yeah.
right?
That's what all my books are.
So what comes out of that in thinking about things like that? What does that do for you?
Self-awareness. And once you learn self-awareness, I think that opens up so many doors. You can learn so much about yourself, what your weaknesses are, what your strengths are, what you like, what you really don't like. It just goes on and on.
Yeah. And you say you have a nice, gentle approach. You read something, you write something here, and what are your thoughts after reading this paper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been told by many people that my books are very comprehensive for the person that doesn't have a PhD to learn about this stuff.
Right.
You know?
Well, you're speaking right from the heart, and it's stuff that you actually did.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
What's your goal here with this kind of a book? Somebody learns about themselves. Where does the coping part of it come in?
Well, like me, I hated the world because of what it took from me, what I thought the world took from me.
Yeah.
When I was orphaned. And so I had to learn coping skills to cope with that anger, to cope with that feeling that I had. And then that I was able to get stronger in myself.
So coping is like a way of, because you mentioned some of the symptoms here, so it's like those symptoms might be debilitating, like anxiety, right? Or you get really depressed, or something, or you get angry.
I know people
that
that
learn how to prevent that, right?
Yeah. I know people that are depressed, and people say, "Oh, depression," but I know people that are depressed and they're stationary, like they stay in bed all day, or they're afraid to go out of their house, or the list goes on.
Yeah. This is very interesting. So you have Operation Enlighten, learning the ways. Are these other books you're working on, or is this all in here?
Those are all published books. I have 4 published books
you do?
right now.
Oh.
Yes.
So you have Operation Enlighten, which is, tell me what that's about.
That, I was a private investigator. I was a security consultant. In my years in the military, I put a bunch of information in to teach people how to protect themselves without using your fist, because you need 90 hours of training in order to be able to use one technique, like even a punch, effectively.
Right.
Who has that?
Right.
But the way that I teach is, like when I was a private investigator, if I wanted to follow you, I wouldn't sit outside your house and follow you. Mm-hmm. If I knew you were going here, I would sit halfway and watch you to go by. Because most people go by the same way day after day, like drones.
Yeah,
right. And they're in what I call the white stage of mind, which is what 75% of people go through, being unaware, and unprepared of their surroundings.
Yeah. They just go. It's like automatic.
Yeah.
And that sets you up for surveillance or...
Yeah, surveillance, or if you're a beautiful woman and somebody wants to stalk you or something like that.
It sets it up.
Yeah. And
then you have Operation TIPP. What's that?
That's Trauma Informed Program Plus. And that I started out as a program, and I ran that at Veterans Inc. for the guys that I'm going to be running it again. I just went there last week to do their intake again.
Yeah.
And I ran it at Jeremiah's Inn, and I talked about stuff in there at Spectrum, at Washburn House.
So that's more of a higher level of trauma experience behind these people, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yep.
Do you find that they suffer the same kind of symptoms, a lot of them?
I find everybody's different,
Really?
honestly, yeah.
Yeah. Now, is the coping skills part of it got to be different too then?
Oh, yeah. Like what works for me might not work for you.
Right.
Like me, it's martial arts. I just went on a 2-mile run before coming here.
Yeah.
Yoga and meditation. You might not get anything out of those.
I'll get tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, it all depends on what you're into, and that's why I have so many coping skills in that one book.
Yeah, you got different things that you try, right?
Yeah.
And you even have a point where you start to feel well. I saw that. I caught it really quick. But you have like intellectual approaches.
Yeah.
Who do you turn into a wellness job?
Yep. I think people should.
So what's that mean? What's a wellness job?
People should all start out, when they start out in recovery, they shouldn't go be an anchor on a TV show.
Right.
They should be starting out with something that's low stress,
Yeah.
that you're not going to have to put a lot of thought into it. You're
Right.
not going to be tired at the end of the day.
Right. You want to sort of ease in.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Ease back
Sure,
into
that
the
makes sense.
workforce. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are skills. People, you make a lot of sense. I don't think get 6 to 8 hours sleep. There you go.
Yeah.
Start eating healthy, right?
Yeah. And start making little changes in your life. Now that you mentioned sleep, I put in there. Ever heard of Kaizen?
No.
It's a Japanese word that means small changes that add into bigger changes.
Yeah.
Like get up, make your bed.
Yeah.
Or if you already make your bed, do another small change in your life, small positive change. And that'll add up to doing a bigger change in your life. Like me, I didn't start out getting from homelessness to publishing $4.
Right. It took a while.
Yeah.
You had to, but your experience is capitalized in these books that you're writing, right? And
Right.
You're helping others.
Yep,
What a
yep.
great thing. I think that's a really great thing that you're doing is you're using your experience to help others.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's important. You're
Yep.
changing and saving. I think you're actually saving lives. You got
Thank you.
Operation Happy Mind. That sounds like something that everybody should be reading. Positive thinking work with developing happy mind.
Yep.
So why is that important, and what is a happy mind?
Well, positive thinking.
Okay, so that's what we're talking
Is
about.
what it's about. Yep. And positive thinking is so important because take a person that's negative.
Yeah.
They want to not do anything. They want to stay in bed all day. They want to just live life.
Yeah.
And then you take somebody positive, and they can live so much more of a life. Your dreams can come true.
Yeah.
So
it's a matter of applying yourself.
Yeah. Like today, I'm on here, and right before here, I got 2 more shows
Good.
that I just got on my email. They want me on.
Yeah. Excellent.
I'm pushing myself to get out there, because if you don't, then you're not going to go anywhere.
Right, and at the least, you're making connections. You're meeting people. You're talking to an audience here.
Yeah.
I mean, we're the second largest city in New England, so
Right. Exactly.
you're reaching a lot of people. So now, keeping a happy and positive mind. Do you also mean like not watching negative news on TV or something? You know what I mean? Because that can drive you nuts.
Well, what is positive news?
Yeah,
I mean,
I know, there isn't any.
there's not much positive news
Right.
on.
Right. Unless you're watching this. This is positive.
Yeah. Shows like this is awesome.
Yeah.
But
to keep a happy mind, do you have to stay away from stuff like that, or can you still?
at first, maybe.
Yeah.
But eventually, you're living life.
Right.
You're not.
You don't
gonna
want to run from
have-
things or put your head in the ground like.
Yeah, and there's no way to avoid all the negative in the world.
Right.
There's absolutely no
But
way
that's
to do
where
it.
your book comes in. You have to cope with it.
Yeah, you got to get stronger in
Right.
order to cope with what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've glad you're leaving this here because I definitely want to look into this myself. This
Thank you.
sounds like something anybody could benefit from.
Yeah, yeah.
Your other operation, Battle of a Lifetime Addiction Recovery Workbook, and you said that has 8 dimensions, and that's
Yep,
this
yep,
one.
Yep, it's got 8 dimensions of wellness. I don't know if you ever heard of those, but they're like physical wellness, financial wellness.
Yeah.
And what I did was I put coping skills into all those 8 dimensions.
Oh, okay.
So if you're looking at the physical wellness, you're going to see a bunch of coping skills pertaining to physical wellness.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's very interesting.
thank you.
So you got positive thinking in here, coping skills, triggers,
Yep.
triggering people. So there's certain people that trigger.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So
Like,
you have to learn to not just avoid them, but how to handle them, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Because you can't avoid all the negative people in the world either. So
Yeah.
you got to learn how to see them, smile, and walk the other way.
Yeah.
You know.
And you
instead
got
of
another
hitting
book
one
coming
side.
out in July. You
Yep.
said, right?
Operation Safety in Motion.
Okay.
And that is that's the children's book, Situational Awareness and Anti-Bullying.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to have a robot as the main character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's a little different than this kind of format.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm going in a totally different direction.
Yeah.
That's
So
why.
kids could read it actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's a robot because I don't want it to be a male or female or, I don't want anything that people can be like, oh, well, he's, saying that this certain person is being bullied.
Right. Right.
Because
right. You want it to be.
Everybody's being
It's,
bullied.
yeah. It's universal.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent work. If people want to learn more about you or your books, is there a website they can go to?
Yeah, I'm going to have to take my phone out for that one.
Oh, okay. I think Frank has it on the screen too, I thought, yeah. So we have, no, I see a website, Charlie Dorenzo 1. And then, there's a wixsite.com/lifelong experience.
Right.
Right?
Yep. Yep.
So it's Wix site.
Thank you. for putting
Yeah.
that
Oh,
up.
so it's charliedorenzo1.wixsite.com/lifelong experience.
Right.
And if people need extra, if they want prompting, they can also call the station and we'll make sure we give you that.
And they can reach me on my email too.
Right. And your email is charliedorenzo, DIRENZO1, the number 1, @gmail.com.
Right.
Yeah, that's good. I'm going to write the website in here too, before you go, so
All right.
people need to call us.
Okay.
Yeah, well, is there a final takeaway? We got about a minute. What would you like to let our viewers know most of all, whether about your books or any kind of tips about self-awareness or coping?
Well, hope. There is hope out there.
Yeah,
No matter how bad your life gets, there's always hope.
yeah. That's a great message.
Yeah.
Keep hope and
Yeah. Keep hope alive.
keep hope alive and read books like this and they'll help you definitely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Addiction Recovery and Coping Skills Workbook. Folks, I've looked at this. I think this can help if you're suffering with recovery, going through recovery, suffering with those symptoms, depression, anxiety. You have certain fears built up. This will help you, definitely help you. So I want to thank Charlie Smith, author, for joining us here today. Charlie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck with what you're doing. God bless you. I mean,
Thank
that's
you.
great work.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah, keep it up. That's something really needed here.
Thank you.
Charlie Smith, the author and veteran, author of the Lifelong Experience series. His experience is shared with you. Hopefully it helped you out. Until next time, I'm Mauro DePasquale. I look forward to seeing you on WCCA TV, the People's Channel.
Thank you.